This recording, I'm just going to illustrate a couple things in midstream because it's going to take way too long to outline all these steps. A considerable amount of work went into getting to this point, but I just want to illustrate the possibility of the impact of leveraging a good scan of interior space. Now, I've scanned both the first level and the basement level, but I'm only using a single scan. So we're looking at a floor plan of level 1, and here we're looking at a 3D point cloud model. So the cutting plane is roughly at elevation 1.2 meters. I made a little chart. That's about 4 feet. Right? If I change that value to, for example, 8 feet, and make that 2.4, and update the view, it's going to give me a section of essentially my scan, which is as close to a 3D model. Keep in mind, I only scanned the surfaces of the interior as I've got. But let's look at some of the other views that we have. We have an elevation view. Again, these are views of the point cloud, and I can do different visual representation. If I change the coloring to correspond with the intensity and show this in color, then I can select that object, update that parameter. So it's going to try to give me a representation. Now the point cloud is a very, very faint graphic representation of the texture. You can see if I zoom out, I start to see what's actually in that photograph. I haven't quite figured out how to get that more intensely. So that's an east elevation. Another elevation. We're just looking at the cloud from the outside now. I could change, select that graphic slice, updated according to those parameters. If I ask it to color as source, it's going to try to replicate the picture. And so let's get the preview. So the preview is the color. According to the source, whatever it is. Let's go back to floor plan for level 1. And now what I'm going to do is a series of interior elevations, which are effectively sections. Let's change the scale of this view from 1/8 to 1/4 inch. And of course this requires some knowledge of Revit, view, elevation, and let's change from building elevation to interior elevation. That's going to place this symbol, whose compass points I can activate, so it'll show me all 4 sides: east, west, west, east, top, bottom. So each of those has created a section, and if I select that compass arrow is showing me a scope line that's indicating what I'm going to see in that view. I can also double click each view. And now it's showing me the north, south, east, and west elevations of the space. This is pretty powerful. Compelling drawing. Now I did assign some parameters to this section which are trying to bring out the outline of the floor and ceiling, so we can actually model the walls. Great for use in interiors. This is looking the other way. You can see the ductwork above, which you picked up fairly accurately. I've got lots of ladders in here. And then finally, the last elevation is looking toward the front of the space. Again, I can update a preview according to how I want it colorized. Right? So then I can go about modeling here. I haven't integrated the SketchUp model just yet. So this is pointing to a strong argument for having both Undet for Revit and Undet for SketchUp. We need to have both. Both have the advantages. There's interoperability between SketchUp and Revit, but to get a really complete picture and fully make use of the technology, we should have at least these two programs at the start. Let's go to a 3D view. So these are some things that we can do also in Undet. Revit allows me to create what's called a section box. So there's my space. There's a representation of my space. I'm going to take that section box, move it through the boundaries of the space so I can inspect or otherwise view that interior. It's pretty remarkable that the amount of detail that you can see has zoomed way out because the cloud representation is very, very thin. Anyway, thought you'd enjoy that. That shouldn't be more than 5 minutes.